We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 28th episode of the Crypto Bull. Today's episode, we will be doing a fundamental or technical analysis of a quite old, rolling oldie cryptocurrency project called Peercoin, a unique one. More on that later on. So, for all the noobs or for everyone just logging in or for the very first time seeing these series, let me give a short breakdown on how we go about in this episode. So, Peercoin, how do I do the analysis? Well, I'm going to find out about the coin by visiting websites and taking a closer look at the community. I've got a few pointers I'll be taking a look at, such as historical value, so the entire value run of the coin itself. I'm going to take a look at the technical fundamentals, so what kind of consensus protocol it operates on, since when it has been listed or has been launched, if it's got its own blockchain, if it's a token, if it's a coin, etc., etc. I'll also be taking a look at the community itself, which implies I will be visiting briefly a variety of social media attached to the cryptocurrency project itself. Reason thereof is, well, a cryptocurrency project can only become successful as long as there's a decent community behind it, a decent, active trading and naturally developing community. So without further ado, let us begin. I'm going to start sharing my screen here. This is CoinGecko. It's one of those websites like CoinMarketCap, which lists all different coins which are in existence. And we're going to take a look at Peercoin. Currently ranked by market cap as a number 672. So current value $1.06. Just like the market, it has been going downward in value. However, rest of the market is doing the same thing. So gives me a first indication it seems to be following the market trend. What interests me most here? Dedicated website, peercoin.net. There's an article on Medium, so I'm going to click those ones open. More on that later. I'm first going to explore the CoinGecko site. I see here Explorers, Cryptoid, Coin Explorer, and Token View. I'm going to say it underlines it has its very own blockchain, so it isn't going to be a token, so it isn't going to be built on Tron, Ethereum, Binance, etc., etc. So it has its own blockchain. It is a self-sustaining project. Yeah, if you click on the Explorers, I'm going to do so for once. You actually get an overview of all transactions being done with the addresses, difficulty, value output, etc., etc. So you can see it got its own blockchain. I can verify their blockchain and all messages on it and transactions being made. You see here community, Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, Discord, Telegram, talk.peercoin.net, and Bitcoin Talk. I'll be exploring those later on, but they are present on a variety of social media, which is a very good sign. Source code available on GitHub. Love seeing that one. Mostly scam projects or that projects, do not have their source code listed on, GitHub or not available. If their source code is not available, it generally implies it's either an empty box, so they are trying to sell you a name but no fundamentals, or, it's still in full development. That's always the case, but in that case, it shouldn't be listed. So source code is available, which is nice. API identification, Peercoin. What else do we see here? Current market cap, 28,625,168 USD dollar. 24-hour trading volume, only 17,000. Damn. Circulating supply, 27 million. Total supply to ever be created, 2 billion. I like seeing here that there's a total supply, so there's going to be a max cap of 2 billion coins. It implies, if there's a max cap, that it will increase in value over time, notwithstanding its current state of affairs or how much is being mined or in circulation. presently, by reason, as soon as you will impose a limit on the amount to be produced, well, rarity and scarcity is, well, ascertained for the future. So it will increase in value, which is a good sign. However, what's more important, and that's what we're going to explore right now, is its entire historical run, how it's been performing over the years. So this is in the last 24 hours. It seems relatively stable, seems to be slightly increasing here in value, going towards the 1.06 USD dollars. However, like I said, I'm more interested in the entire run. And from what I can see here, April 28, 2013, listed on CoinGecko. This is probably going to be one of the older coins I'm going to analyze here for the crypto bull. I can tell here. So since its inception, it has, well, had a few bull runs. First one from 2014, 2013, 2014, after the, if I'm not mistaken, second or third Bitcoin halving. This one's from 2018. I dare say the most recent one, where it actually gained quite some momentum here, almost reached $10 in value, quite nice, but crashed down tremendously and is following market movement. In May, when Bitcoin reached its all-time high, it only managed to get towards $3.27. Quite a shame, however. I'm going to start zooming in here. Well, to me, this implies it's following market trends. It means there's still development, still a live community behind it. Otherwise, if it were a dead project, well, it would have flatlined the entire way. And as I can see here, there's still some volatility and movement going on. However, I'm actually wondering how and why it crashed that badly. So let's zoom in. So big amount, sudden jump here in May of this year. Seems to be relatively stable now, circulating around the $1. So something occurred. If I look at a yearly basis, it seems to be in a very slow uptrend, so slightly bullish. That's, wanted to say 6 months approximately. So yeah, very slowly increasing in value. That's actually a very nice view to see what a limited market cap can do. You've got some volatility, it's following market trends, but steadily and slowly increasing in value as less and less coins are, well, circulating in the market. So, all too bad. 90 days. Okay, as you can see here, crashing down. We are, well, from its all-time high, so it's quite natural going to be in a downtrend. On the 30 days, it's actually having a decent run. It's going upward. So those who have held on and bought low are making some nice profits here. 14 days, same thing. 7 days, it's more stable, well, volatile, but more stable. 24 hours, same project. Where it concerns, I'm not going to do a total analysis and saying, yeah, and it's going to go that way and that way. Overall, it seems there's something occurring on the Peercoin community within the network itself. Money can be made. Is it as interesting as others I've done in the past? Well, considering its price value and price run, I dare say due to its volatility, it might be interesting for day traders. Myself, I'm not a day trader. If I plan to invest in a coin, I tend to hold for the long term. And I must say I'm not entirely convinced. Well, what concerns its upward value, especially considering that it's a project which has been around for quite some time. I've seen 28th of April 2013, so that's quite some time. So where it concerns its value, I'm not immediately impressed, though it raises a few questions. Generally, projects with that run, well, that time span to have been in existence, will tend to, well, be much better, have higher caps, etc. especially when considering something like Dogecoin, which is, I believe, even 1 year older, and well, okay, lower in value, but has much more circulating supply and well, quite an active community. But community, I can't say anything yet. Haven't discovered it, but yeah, has a much better run, I dare say, on the long term. So I'm a bit surprised. Anyway, let's continue. Mostly being traded on, I see here, HIT BTC, Bittrex, Phoenix Box, HIT BTC, probably mostly on HIT BTC, where the highest amount of volume is being traded. Now, this one is important, the About page. 24 trading volume, circulating supply of 27 million PPC coins, total supply of 2 billion. If you're looking to buy or sell Peercoin, HIT BTC is currently the most active exchange. That we already knew. Network activated in 2012, one of the very first cryptocurrencies to ever be released. That's correct. Bitcoin is only 1 or 2 years. No, it's slightly longer. It was 2009 that was the white paper, if I'm not mistaken. Or yeah, it's only but a few years older than Bitcoin. So it's actually a grandpa among the different coins. Anyway, it is responsible for inventing proof-of-stake consensus. So it is the very first coin that makes use, well, has implemented a proof-of-stake consensus protocol. That was the main reason I've chosen this project. That was actually a fact that I knew of. And, well, I was, well, with a few Telegram groups, I am in a few Telegram groups, we had a recent discussion about, well, older coins which were in the top 10. Peercoin used to be in the top 10. I know next to nothing about it, except that I know it was the very first one to invent, well, to make use and probably have invented the proof-of-stake consensus protocol. With that idea in mind, I've chosen the project. So it wasn't as random, but more or less, yeah. Anyway, let's continue before I pull off on a rant here. So proof-of-stake consensus makes it the first efficient and sustainable public blockchain technology. Yeah, proof-of-stake is less energy intensive when compared to a proof-of-work consensus protocol. So that's more or less true, but there are other things where it concerns proof-of-stake, but that's a discussion anywhere else. Was inspired by Bitcoin. Much of the source code is being shared and technical implementations of it also. Is distributed on the MIT X11 software license. Unlike Bitcoin, Namecoin, and Litecoin, Peercoin does not have a hard limit on the number of possible coins, but is designed to eventually attain an annual inflation rate of 1%. Aha, so it's an inflationary coin. The deflationary aspect to Peercoin, as the transaction fee of 0.01 PPC per kilobyte paid to the network is destroyed. This feature, along with increased energy efficiency, aim to allow for greater long-term scalability. I've got to admit, this actually reads as how Ethereum, what Ethereum is trying to be. They have, well, from what I can tell here, there's a deflationary aspect of Peercoin is being destroyed. So it means that the coins are being burned, which is the same kind of mechanism Ethereum implemented with their London hard fork, which along with increased energy efficient for greater long-term scalability. Okay, and it actually is already on proof of stake. So it seems Ethereum is trying to make a Peercoin 2.0 and not really an Ethereum 2.0. Anyway, with the same cryptographic hash function as Bitcoin, SHA-256, Peercoin is 100 times more energy efficient. Okay. Transactions in the Peercoin network are faster and cheaper. Okay, that's a direct result of the proof of stake. And from what I can tell, other technical aspects, however, faster and cheaper remains to be seen in reality. Everything depends on block size and how intensively used the blockchain is. Let's continue. There were not fierce competition on the cryptocurrency market, would probably have long since become one of the most important cryptocurrencies. Innovation in the cryptocurrency does outperform Peercoin in a number of important properties. In contrast to Dash, Peercoin could not offer anonymity, and transactions in Dogecoin were even faster and cheaper than those of Peercoin. So they underline their shortcomings. That's actually honest and very brave. In all past episodes I've done, there's been a lot of projects bullshitting around and saying we are the best, we are the fastest, we are the cheapest. But thanks to my knowledge of a variety of other coins, I could quite easily point on the shortcomings and the bullshit they were trying to spread. However, it's a brave move. It puts things in perspective. It means and implies that the developers are actually being quite honest. Marketing-wise, not a very good move. Well, now that I think of it, not a very good move. It is an honest move, and that might attract a variety of investors such as myself. I like to know clear-cut where the weaknesses are, so I can better evaluate the project itself. If I do not know where the weaknesses are, and I have to find out after reading tons of white papers and looking up with the community, only to notice that my investment might not have been worthy for the crypto project, I'll be slightly disgruntled. So that's actually something I will take into account, and got to say, it will it weigh up? Not necessarily. I'll keep it for later on when the fundamental analysis is done. Anyway, interest of the user to the side of the minings on the CPUs and GPUs, then to the side of smart chain, and PPC began to get a little forgotten. So they actually underline their history by saying, look, we were quite good, but other projects will outperform us, which is a bit sad. Anyway, Peercoin team believes that adapting blockchain for wide-scale use only through on-chain transactions will negatively affect the decentralization level and security of the network over time. Therefore, we choose to develop the Peercoin blockchain as a base layer settlement network with a sole focus on securing all forms of value recorded into the chain. So it's now being revamped, or it has been revamped, to lock assets, it seems, or to, have an open ledger, to secure records of value. So, okay. Of preserve and maximize decentralization. So they are really about maximizing decentralization. Most viewers who know me know I've got some reservations where it concerns proof of stake and full decentralization. Mainly with proof of stake, you must stake a variety of coins in order to set up a masternode which can do the verification and validation. However, proof of stake still is more akin to become centralized when compared to proof of work. By reason, if you have enough moolah or enough coins to invest, you can actually set up a variety of masternodes all within your control and more easily and cheaper overtake the network, unless the community is really invested and as widespread within the project itself that it actually becomes harder. But yeah, with proof of stake, it's more likely to become centralized when compared to proof of work. Now, I know some naysayers will say, yeah, but with proof of work, something like NiceHash, you can buy hash rates, and if enough people do so, they can have the majority of the hash rate. More or less correct, but after a certain point of time, the investments you will have to make become so enormously big and the returns infinitesimally small, it simply isn't doable. With proof of stake, on the other hand, it's feasible quite easily. So yeah, it's brave, but they have something in mind which will counteract it. Anyway, it's on developing second layer protocols and subnetwork that can interact with base layer blockchain, wide-scale use and pro functionalities such as tokens, smart contracts, and high-speed low-cost transaction processing. In a way, Peercoin will act as a secure and censorship-resistant base layer for the future blockchain-connected world. So they want to develop Peercoin now as a base layer to save a variety of assets and value on it, and help people develop second layer solutions. Quite nice, but I believe many people actually prefer to create their very own second layer solutions. On their native blockchain. I saw there was, can't see questions momentarily. We'll answer them at the end of the episode when I've done the fundamental analysis. So I saw one passing by when I switched. Anyway, Peercoin, green crypto for a sustainable future. Okay. Just let us see what Peercoin is. It was invented by Sonny King and Scott Nadal and first implemented in 2012. So from what I can tell, I'm merely fast reading here. Cost prohibitive. So yeah, basically, to pull off an attack, they would need to make significant investment in Peercoin. That's true, but the same applies to proof of work, which would end up damaging the price of Bitcoin and along with its additional investment in the coins they used for the attack. That's true. Stand to lose. Would only end up crushing the market price, which should be considered counterproductive, as they would likely end up losing more funds. So yeah, basically they are explaining here why it's more greener and why it's unwise to do or perform an attack on Peercoin. Mainly for the same reasons I mentioned when reading on CoinGecko. So introduction. What is blockchain? So they give a literal history here, benefits and use cases. That I'm interested in. Tokens. So this basically I'm not going to read out loud. Same applications such as Ethereum used for data verification, can build smart contracts, tokens, and distributed autonomous corporations or DAOs can make use of the blockchain. Blockchain as money, cryptocurrency. So it lists off in quite some nice detail all the advantages of using blockchain for money purposes. Security it comes with it, collusion, consensus on single thread, Bitcoin and its proof of work, the hashing algorithms, etc., etc. And these guys seeing proof of stake is, and it must be said, and it's a verifiable fact, proof of stake really is the greener alternative to proof of work. However, it has its own disadvantages, not energy related, but on a variety of other fields. Not always as obvious, and I know a lot of people who support Ethereum or other proof of stake based blockchains will say, yeah, but when compared to proof of work, each consensus protocol has its proper use case. Proof of stake is, in my opinion, the best kind of consensus when you want to start up a business-based blockchain or a platform for DApp or decentralized application development. Proof of stake is the best for it. Proof of work is better suited as a consensus protocol to create something like Bitcoin or Ravencoin for, factual cryptocurrency or for transference of assets or value. Proof of stake is less suited for it, less secure. And that's a plain fact. So I'm not going to get too much into detail or into discussion about it. You may take my word for it. You may disapprove of it, but yeah, that's the standard upon which I operate. But yeah, I'm going to return. So it's a short. Oh, can I do that? Yeah, I've got to. Yeah, what it concerns site, I put on a tweet of Alex Lazar where I mentioned, the loading of the webpage of the cryptocurrency project. I take into account to see if it's a valuable project or if it's a decent project. Well, as you can see, I did a refresh and it loaded instantaneously. So I can rest assured it isn't going to be a bad project. Short 5 video sec, fundamentals of Peercoin, benefits, economics, mission. So the what? Well, what I do like to see here, and that's something I tend to not encounter all too much when doing this series, is when I'm visiting the site, I tend to see you can buy it here, that's the exchange, etc., etc. These guys here do everything in their power to, highlight what they are about. I like seeing that. It means the developers are actually very wary about their customers and what their blockchain can do, and they want to make clear what exactly they can do. That's a big bonus point in my book. Anyway, making it one of the earliest pioneering blockchains. Key innovation is its invention of proof of stake. Correct. So user governance, that's the principle of staking here. I love the animations, very nicely done. Comes an escalating problem, trustless base layer. That's true, that's actually a problem with variety of blockchains. Fair distribution, that is very important. As there's no reason to dispute the initial coin supply and a pure pro stake, the entire coin supply is usually created by the project fund, who then choose get to on stake, often ends a network with highly centralized coin supply, that's correct. And proof of work for distribution. Okay, it's actually a hybrid network, as can be seen here. That's good to know. Proof of stake for the network security. So you have master nodes doing the validating and verification of all transactions, but proof of work is being used for distribution, which is good. Then sold on exchange by miners for profit and purchased. So this actually implies, well, yeah, like they say, fair distribution. Many proof of stake blockchains, just like Ethereum, do not have a fair distribution. It's generally said that about 70% of all Ethereum ever produced up to date has actually been in an ICO, in an initial coin offering, and is actually highly centralized. This is an example of fair distribution. This, in my book, puts them already way above Ethereum. That's actually very fair, and that's a correct move they made. So in that regard, big bonus points. That's indication of a very solid project, very fair developer, very fair development team. I'm really having problems finding the words in English today. Anyway, continue. Reliable value store. Well, from what I can tell, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Well, value is volatile-ish, but as long periods of, well, it's not really a stable coin, but I can see where they are aiming at. Generally, if you look closely, the average trend is very slowly upward, but it's like they said, it's an inflationary coin, but they put in mechanisms for deflation. So there's an actual burning of Peercoin itself, which provides some scarcity. However, what I do find odd is they say it's an inflationary coin, but they have a total supply of 2 billion. So I'm a bit baffled by it. It means something is off, or something of the information I'm receiving here is not entirely correct. So that's a big question mark. Anyway, this value can be anything from FAIR12 being stored in PPC to data being stored on the chain in the form of tokens, records, or contracts. So, in a sense, it's a little bit like Ravencoin, I dare say. Ravencoin itself is a project I'm an enormous fan of. Do not belong to the development team nor marketing team, but generally, if I see some factual things stated about Ravencoin, I dare to share them and underline the importance and strengths of it. And from what I can tell, they share the aspect of, well, storage of value on their chain, which is not all too bad. It's something which will be needed in the future. How to get started? Peercoin University. Check out our Medium blog, purchase, wallet, mint, mine community. It's, well, I like seeing this by reason how to get started. They force you to read what it is about entirely, so you have a very, very decent understanding what it is about, what they represent, before actually saying, yeah, here you can purchase it, here's the wallet, you can mint it, here you can mine it, and that's the community. That is actually a decent setup of a decent cryptocurrency project, and I'm surprised they are actually as lowly ranked. They should, well, in my book, they should be up much higher. Anyway, news articles, quantum economics report, going to say that's not minutes but months ago. So there's regular updates, more or less. Documentation, how to get started. Okay, let's get back up. Primer, so that's documentation, how to mine exchanges. Just see exchanges. All right, they are available on, well, a few exchanges, but not immediately high-hitting ones like Binance, Coinbase, or Kraken. They are the more, well, the secondary ones. Okay, Bittrex is quite known. HitBTC, okay, I know of them, but no active user. Coin Paprika, yeah, that's for market information, but they should update it because I saw it on CoinGecko also. So mainnet and testnet, okay. Charts, mempool, energy statistics, so resources are freely available. Love seeing that, but it implies they are very open about their source code, very open about their programming and technical aspects. Community, forum, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Telegram, Discord. So these are all their social media. And well, I just wanted to make the remark, well, I more or less couldn't find a white paper, but it seems they have English, Chinese, and even in multiple languages. Normally I'm Dutch, but I also understand French and German, but let's click on English. Scott Nadal, so they've got their white paper introduction, so coinage, a little bit of history, block generation. So actually, this is the fundamental paper upon which Peercoin has been developed and underlines how it works. Actually, a little reference to the original white paper of Bitcoin. Not all too long. For full-on technical analysis and really understanding what it is about, not going to do it during this live stream by reason, well, the Peercoin University, the things we've read through actually gave me a very solid idea how it's built, how it functions, and how it operates. And I must say it's actually quite convincing. It's a hybrid protocol, hybrid consensus that they are using. It's a combination of proof of work and proof of stake, which in my opinion is actually a very good move to do. You've got the advantages of proof of stake, while at the same time a proof of work consensus protocol. Considering the use case for the transactioning and the storage of value, be it data, be it wealth, money, etc., well, such a hybrid protocol is actually a very, very good choice. The fact they are also the very first ones to have incepted and thought over proof of stake implies there's, well, no copy-paste going on, no copy-paste of the source code. Everything has been programmed from the ground up. They themselves admit, yeah, we have been based on the proof of work consensus protocol of Bitcoin and made our own adaptations. In my book, okay, may have based on, but they did some grounding work and developers know what they are doing, which isn't really something which can be said of other networks and projects I have in mind, which are trying to adapt proof of stake by implementing, well, copy pasting code and trying to make it work on their own blockchain. Anyway, not going to give all too much hate, not going to mention them by name. I've got other episodes where I've done that plenty enough. But yeah, the availability of white paper are bonus points in my book, especially the availability in a variety of languages. Many projects only limit themselves to the major languages such as English, Spanish, Chinese, and sometimes I may find something written in French, sometimes written in German, depending where the developers are from. The reason that I'm seeing here 6, 10 different languages means, well, worldwide they are future-proof. Graphics. So yeah, it's actually quite nice. You can download plenty of information here. Going to take a look at the blog. I saw the news articles, but yeah, okay, a bit sad. Mostly decent projects I encounter will generally update more where it concerns blogs and news. However, this already know the project. You can only rehash the same things over and over again for a limited amount of time. However, what considering their age, well, it's irregularly updated, but there's movement going on. Team dates seem to have stopped here, January 2020. Use of blockchain text. It's hard to say if regular movement going on. News seems to be a little bit dead. It was a Medium article. Oh, I'm on Medium here, so I can actually close this one. Okay, that went fast suddenly. But yeah, with that, two major websites have been explored. Well, let's just take a look at community, forum, Twitter, Telegram not going to open, Facebook, Reddit, Discord isn't available on my Chromebook, YouTube can be interesting and can talk. Let's say how active the community is. Was it talk.peercoin, news updates, topics, 16 days, 21 days, 2 hours ago, okay. I wanted to say largely inactive, but I changed that to mostly slow in movement. This concerns their very own forum. However, forums are slightly outdated. 10 to 12 years ago, I dare say, well, that was the place to be to get all your questions answered. People could interact directly with each other. Now other social media exist, which are much better. However, considering the dates here, well, when the last update occurred, it's all right. I've seen forums which were younger or older and even more dead and more inactive. Twitter is a nice one. I generally am going to verify the amount of followers here and compare it to the amount of likes and retweets, etc. 34,000, not all too much here. 10, 30. Well, where it concerns the amount of likes, I dare say, well, the interaction here they're doing is quite nice. I'm seeing various retweets, so there's interaction with their community. But their tweeting is quite slow, it seems. Pinned one, 24th of July, most recent one, okay, 2 hours ago. And the last one is from before is 10th of August, 9th of August. Retweet. And 24th of June, there's an entire month which has passed by with almost no movement. I'm going to see tweets and answers. 2 hours, yeah, same question. So Twitter isn't as active as it should be, sadly enough. Facebook, I know not many people visit the page, but can always be worthwhile to check it up a little. 2 likes, when is it dated 1 hour ago, so seems to be some activity. I'm going to take a look. Okay, 10 people reacted, same here. A bit the same like Twitter from what I can tell. Reddit, let's hope this one's better. Available through FlatHub, so there's active marketing movement going on. That's Kraken, that's promoted, so it doesn't really pertain. Mine Peercoin at Auto Exchange mining pool. So mining pools enable Peercoin still. That's actually got some good news. Means things are moving. Peercoin mobile wallet, okay. Coins Inc. can enhance crypto further. There's Peercoin faucets going on 13 days ago. Reddit seems to be more or less active, and yeah, that's no wallet. So it seems people are actually still busy with Peercoin, but community tends to be on the slowish side. Close that one. Yeah, YouTube. Blah blah. Let's see about the videos. I'm expecting for once 1 year. So on an irregular basis, it seems there's some videos being shared. So that's some news, time-locked addresses, Peercoin. version 0.8 development history course to update. So mostly what about, it seems. Video tutorials, Peercoin primer. So yeah, the channel itself, quite limited amount of followers, but happens to pertain to the education they give, which is actually quite nice. That's the Bitcoin Talk forum. Always love seeing this one pop up. It implies the developers are actually quite serious about the project and regular updates. The amount of pages, considering it has been topic since August 19, 2012. Not one of the longest, but it implies, well, people are still busy and are actually taking it seriously. May 12, May 15. I'm going to look at the last one. It's sadly enough always the same guy, today. So there's some recent activity. Happy to announce public release of Peercoin's new mobile wallet for Android and iOS. So if you've got some Peercoin, you can transfer it now towards your iOS or Android smartphone, and you can actually download a new Peercoin wallet, which is quite nice. So a little update for the holders since many years. You can now put it towards your phone. So let's hope this brings in some circulation and movement. And with that, I'm going to close it down. Is there something else? Nope, I'm going to summarize my findings here and perhaps answer a few questions, because I see a sudden amount of people. Randy Vitoroni, I saw him on Bitcoin talk forums. Thank you for being present here. I'm honored. First green crypto due to the invention of POS. That's correct. Doesn't have masternodes. So okay, I'm going to retrace that one. Well, the statement I made where it concerns masternodes. Butter King can participate with staking minting. Good. Well, anyone who owns a PPC. Taking over network requires 51% of market cap. When trying to obtain it will skyrocket the price, adding to the cost of the take over. Like I said, I'm not going to discuss it. It's a little bit my own opinion, though I'm willing to admit you are right with your observation. There are other reasons why I say POS is more is more likely to become centralized. I'm not going to get into the discussion. Therefore, I want to highlight the strengths of Peercoin, which, to be honest, in my summarization, I've got to say are aplenty. So I'm actually quite positive here. Okay. Where it concerns the market cap, where I raised the question and really didn't answer it. So thank you very much, Butter King. There's no cap for the market cap. That's why it says 2 billion. So the 2 billion I shouldn't have taken on face value. It should actually be infinity. I know on CoinGecko, if someone of your marketing team or one of the developers reaches out, I know CoinGecko can correct it and will put it down as an infinite supply. This in order to avoid confusion, like I did during this live stream. The 2 billion isn't actually really a very good number to implicate there's an infinite amount of it going to be in circulation by reason, well, there exists a variety of, pardon the term, of solid projects, some of them which I've done here in the past for the crypto bull, which had factual market caps of 50 billion and upwards. I believe I even had one in somewhere in the 4 trillion. At which point I also mentioned, well, it's better to say F it and put everything on infinite, because multiple billions or multiple trillions of coins in circulation isn't really a feasible way of doing business. And it's better to be honest and say, okay, unlimited market cap. But good to know. So thanks again. And naturally, yeah, that's direct result. Can't have a cap. Isn't an energy-efficient replacement for Bitcoin, performs the same role as a digital store value and settlement layer. So yeah, that's in short. There's other comments. I'm going to show them all because from what I'm seeing here, those comments were made when I was doing my talking, and they give me valuable feedback and information which can only add to the value of this live stream. So really, Randy, Vittorini, and Burger King, guys are great. Thanks, man. So only POS secures the network. POE only distributes new coins and doesn't provide security. So not a complete hybrid, true, but for convenience sake and to keep it as simple as possible, I call it a hybrid system. Both work in tandem in a certain way. So in my opinion, I dare say it's hybrid, but you are mostly correct, especially considering that I saw your name on the various articles and communities I've browsed through to see the viability of the project. You know it much better than I do, so I'm taking your word for it. Not a complete hybrid, but for convenience sake, I'm going to say for majority of the viewers, it is some kind of hybrid system, but it's not completely so. The middle ground. On your Chromebook from the web page they offer. That's correct. However, I've got some limitations on this one. So main news is on Twitter, not Medium. So good to know. Well, I'm going to stop sharing. So thank you once again, Randy and Buddha King, for all the feedback you've given. Great guys. Would love other projects I do an analysis from to do the same thing. It's the kind of information I love and which adds value to this live stream. So heads up, guys. My personal opinion on Peercoin. Well, regarding its date, regarding its what was it? Pioneering role. That was the word, pioneering. Pioneering role. I dare say it is actually a very, very solid project, and I had some limited knowledge on beforehand where it concerns the coin. But now that I've looked deeper into it, I understand much, much better now why back in the day it was so highly rated, and it has still things going for it. Which actually should make it much more important, which should make it much bigger. However, it is a shame it is being, well, overpowered, dare I say, or being pushed out of the limelight by a variety of other networks and proof of stake based, well, projects. And I'm slightly reminded on another project for which I've done a technical analysis. Back before I did Crypto Bull, back on my website, I did an InFocus series, and it reminded me of the cryptocurrency project called Bancor. Bancor was actually a bit like Peercoin in the sense that they were a trendsetter where it concerns DeFi, decentralized finance protocol, so the very basis upon which all decentralized exchanges operate. They were the very first ones to, well, codify it all. In the meantime, well, what concerns their market cap and popularity, they are a little bit like Peercoin being outshined by their, I don't want to say predecessors, that's the wrong word, but those who base themselves off the code. They became much bigger, more flashy, and managed to attain much more renown. Banker, on the other hand, well, stayed a little bit out of the limelight, much, well, a little bit to my displeasure. Whereas those guys are actually solid. They have solid fundamentals. And I've got the same, well, I wanted to say impressions, but it's actually factual. I've got the same feeling here with Peercoin. They should actually be ranked higher. They are solid, they are honest. Well, from what I've read in their about and what they stand for, they are much more solid than, well, even what Ethereum tries to be. They are, I'm not even going to say in a sense, they are factual what Ethereum is now trying to be. Ethereum is implementing a London hard fork. I've read here they have a deflationary mechanism in place to make sure that there's the availability for scaling on the long term. It's already implemented. Peercoin already has it present. They already are working with a proof of stake consensus protocol. They also have, well, a proof of work consensus protocol implemented. And it's a little bit like Randy said. Well, I said it's more or less hybrid, but it's not completely hybrid, but you catch my drift. Ethereum currently proof of work is trying to go towards proof of stake. So in a sense, I believe the developers of Ethereum took a long, hard look at what Peercoin is and are now trying to imitate its solid structure. So that I must conclude, Peercoin is actually a very, very solid project. And in my opinion, it should actually be ranked much higher. I'm having a little bit of a, I call it a Ravencoin moment here, because Ravencoin, I indulged in it without having all too much pre-knowledge about it. But after doing the episode on it, I actually became convinced of the project. And I'm having the exact same feeling here when it concerns Peercoin. So you guys, you deserve to be up much higher where it concerns market cap, where it concerns importance, because you guys are already at a level Ethereum tries to be. In a certain way, I hope when Ethereum fails, because I'm convinced within a few years they will do so, that you guys can take up their place, because you're basically already what they want to be. So yeah, much respect. I dare say this one is more or less a hot tip, despite its current value. And it's actually the very first time I'm going to deviate a little bit from my own advice where it concerns investing and me wanting to see an always upward, going to do it this way, an always upward going value over time. This time with Peercoin, the fundamentals are so profound, so good. I say, well, get into it and try to make the best of it. Higher marketing. Well, try to establish a bigger and bigger community. Put it back in the limelight. There's a lot of work to be done, but they deserve it. So yeah. So want to thank you guys all for watching. Hope you learned something here from this episode, and hope to see you guys soon in the next one. Bye.